Hello everybody, you have tuned in to Erekose on Making a Murderer on YouTube. I cover virtually any aspect of making a murderer. I go over the evidence, the documents, the photos. So if you like, stay tuned, and in the future I'll have many more videos besides the one you're about to see. Alright, hello there folks. Hey, we're getting together today here just real quick, talk a little bit about some of the supporters there that we met in Australia. These clips I'm going to play today are from Sydney at the Duke of Enmore pub and theater. We met some really great supporters there. Karen Gainey, Jojo on my channel, you guys might recognize, she's in the live chats a lot. We met with her. We met with Penelope Muldoon and Leanne, and I do apologize, Leanne, that I forgot your name in the upcoming clip. I was immensely embarrassed and so sorry that I had forgotten your name, but so I just wanted to make that extra point here to point that out now. So I introduce her right when I'm introducing Penelope. So anyways, I'm so sorry about that, Leanne. Anyways, so you know, we have Leanne and then Mr. Seabrook, of course, Mr. The Hod, of course, over there with his two daughters and everything. So really cool, you know, in the pub, and then little interaction between me and the Mad Scotsman, of course, to cap it all off. Anyways, then it goes to the clips of out in front of the Duke of Enmore Theater after the show, and me chatting with a couple people, and you know, and that sort of stuff. And you know, basically want to talk about a little bit about supporters today that are like super full of passion, have every bit the amount of passion that of the people that I've pointed out to you before, but these folks do it more. They don't get on videos and get on YouTube and do that sort of stuff. But they do make a lot of noise on Twitter and on Facebook. And if you are inclined to follow them, you can go over and follow them, and you can help them share and retweet and stuff. Because you know, Penelope is an awesome supporter. You know, outstanding. I mean, I remember like. There was one point where every time I did a video, I would wake up to a Facebook post the next day from Penelope, and always just so full of positivity and passion and everything. Just awesome. I love Penelope. She's one of the good ones. So I wanted to go ahead and let people know about her. So if you want to go and follow her and help her spread her message, the more followers she has following when she tweets and does those sort of things, the more possible for retweets and stuff. So it helps her get her message out, you know, about the guys. So I wanted to go ahead and, you know, do that, so everybody can do that, and you know, that sort of thing. Now, also another person. I've mentioned this person before on my channel, but another person for people to think about, and I met her, this person that I'm talking about, at the Melbourne show, is Tracy Keogh. Oh, if you aren't following Tracy Keogh, you need to be following Tracy Keogh. She's on Twitter, she's on Facebook, she's constantly posting about Brendan and Steven, of course, but she is a very avid supporter of Brendan, avid supporter of Brendan. She is constantly, in a lot of ways, is a big part of his Facebook page on Facebook, his official one. It's called Justice and Freedom for Brendan Dassey. So you know, she's doing a lot of things, and she writes articles, she runs a website for Brendan Dassey, all these things. I'll try and get the links for you in below. Anyway, so she's doing a lot of good things too, and so if you aren't already, go check her out. She's always looking into the political stuff. For those of you who are interested in what's going on politically in Wisconsin and stuff, she's generally got her you know, fingers on the pulse of that situation. So anyways, just wanted to make people aware of some of these supporters. There's many more, and I will continue to, you know, spotlight them as time goes by, but these two are two that, you know, I had a great pleasure to meet, because I've known them for, you know, on social media for so long, and have known them to be very, very, you know, staunch and avid supporters of Stephen and Brendan. And finally getting the chance to meet the both of them was really, really a pleasure and an honor. And I just wanted to express that. So these are some of the great supporters. Sorry, folks, the truth train's coming in on the video, so you got to pardon that. Anyway, but getting the chance to meet all these great supporters in Australia, Adam Bills, Hugh. I got other clips coming up. Another clip coming up where I talked to Hugh. You know, so this, you know, great supporters. Really, really, you know, just sober thinkers. Really cool people. Getting to talk with Karen Gainey was awesome. Over at the Duke of Enmore pub, her and I were sitting there having a really, really in-depth conversation about the staircase, talking about the owl theory and that sort of stuff. The owl theory didn't get discussed at the Duke of Enmore show. Unfortunately, Dave Rudolph never got to the point of talking about the owl theory. In fact, it was only because of Stephen Drizen's insistence kind of at the end of the Melbourne show. They were about to close it out, and Stephen Drizen said, "But I know one thing that everybody here still wants to hear, and that's from you, David. They want to hear about the owl theory." And he like screams it out. It was really funny. So anyways, dude, it was really funny. And so then David went into the owl theory, and he basically revealed to me the missing piece for why I was having serious issues with the owl theory. I still have some issues with the owl theory, but the really big one that was kind of the biggest hurdle for me looking at the owl theory, kind of there's now a plausible scenario as to why I could, anyway, I'm gonna get into that. I've talked about it a little bit before on one of the lives from Australia, so for those of you who've been paying attention, you might know what I'm talking about. But he did say some stuff about the owl theory that has now caused me to find it to be a bit more plausible. Anyway, that happened all in Melbourne. Like I said, Tracy Keogh's awesome. She was actually kind enough to offer me an extra VIP pass that she had. She offered to me so that I could go meet Drizen and Nyrider and Rudolph after the Melbourne show. Sorry, and that was just phenomenal. I got to shake hands with David Rudolph. I got to tell him, hey, I basically said something along the lines of, hey, my friend Paul Capaldi, I call him the Mad Scotsman, he saw you in Amsterdam, and he said you talked about the owl theory. And when I tried to press him on it further, he seemed to be a bit fuzzy on the details. I go, I'm so glad to have gotten to hear you speak tonight about, that blood smear by the front door and the drops, leading to the stairway and everything. And I go, that's actually been my biggest problem with the owl theory, everything and all that. And he kind of looked at me and smiled and shook my hand, and he was like, thank you for coming out, and da 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 da. And we weren't getting shuffled out because Tracy Keogh, like I told you guys, she's awesome, and even Stephen Drizen thinks so. So we didn't just get like shuffled right out, and we got to sit there and talk for just a few minutes. And like I gave Drizen and I their shirts, and I was just saying if they could get together at some point with their shirts on and take a picture together with their Control Question t-shirts on, that would be awesome. And so he basically kind of was like looking at me. He goes, "Well, want me to put mine on right now?" And I was like, "Oh, sure, if you're willing to, yeah, absolutely, that'd be great for the picture." And everything. So he did. He, slipped off his, like sport jacket or whatever, or, suit jacket and or whatever, and then he put on the Control Question over his t-shirt over his, dress shirt basically, and we got to take the picture like that. It was pretty cool. It was really fun. I was wearing the Belgium shirt given to me by Jerome, who those of you know on my channel, he's here on my channel. He obviously he lives in Belgium. He speaks French. He's in right now we're trying to help him get translations to my videos and that sort of thing. But anyway, I'm wearing that shirt, trying to showcase the international support as much as possible. So it was really cool that happened. It's all really in a lot of respect. Tracy Keogh just deserves a lot of credit for being just the dedicated, hardworking supporter that she is. She's just awesome. And anyways, so enough tooting the horns. Let's go ahead and cut to the actual scenes from Australia, and we'll see you guys a little bit at the end. All right, so I don't know if everybody can hear me really well. This is a noisy little pub we're in, but here we all are, pre-show in Sydney, hanging out, having some beers. Jojo, you got the Mad Scotsman, Mr. Capaldi, Caroline Fitzgerald, Penelope, Karen. I'm sorry, I forgot your name.
You're gonna be live. You're gonna be on camera.
And then obviously we got Mr. Seabrook. We got the Hod over there, otherwise occupied, and his 2 daughters are with him, and we're all here having a few beers before the show, and so I wanted to share that with everybody. And Paul's wearing the right shirt, folks. Gotta say, it's beautiful, and it's not collared, folks. It's not a collared T-shirt. Anyway.
Captain's Crunches.
Right.
And innocent human beings, they're people to be absolutely admired, and they give you inspiration. It's not hard, with Brendan being one of their clients.
Right.
He's awe-inspiring for his hope and his strength that he continues to show, and he will see freedom. He will see.
I believe he will too. Another thing that I thought was interesting was that opening question for Drizzen, where he talked about how he went around and learned about coerced confessions, how they happen and stuff. I thought that was really interesting and true. It comes from overzealous law enforcement or DAs, and then also comes from the limitations of the suspects.
We are best not to forget it happens here. I have had it happen in front of me. I have seen it happen in front of me where law enforcement have lied. They will lie. They will lie in court to get a young offender.
Right.
They will do whatever it takes. It does happen, and it happens worldwide. Right. It's not just in the States. It does happen here in Australia.
Right.
I've seen it.
Right. Great. Yep. So obviously, folks, we had a good time here with Penelope and others, and watching Drizzen and Knight Rider was absolutely a great show. Can't wait to see the next one in Melbourne. All right, folks. So here we are outside of the show at the Enmore Theatre, Duke of Enmore Theatre. It's just finished up. You got Karen over here hanging out. What did you think was cool about the show? Like, what were some of the high points for you?
Oh, seeing the emotion from Laura Knight Rider when she was talking about Brendan. It was so pure, and still after all these years, it's still there. That really hit me.
Every bit,
really
100%. She's in it. She's in it to win it.
Yeah, and they're not giving up.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Hello.
Hello.
What were some of your high points of the show? What did you like?
I thought that Laura was amazing. She's the new Kathleen, I think.
Yeah.
She was.
She may be headed that way, certainly.
I just thought she was incredible. Yeah, hats off to her.
Yep.
And Steve was pretty good too.
Yes, absolutely. All right, so there's just another little segment of some of the supporters from Australia. It was awesome to get to meet all those people, and it was fun having a few beers over there at the Duke of Enmore pub before. That was really a lot of fun. That was cool. You got to do a lot of things in Australia that were fun. Going to the Australian rules football. They call it footy, a lot of things that were just really, really interesting. A lot of fun. Getting to, experience a foreign country, really for the first time. I mean, I've been to Mexico a couple times, but anyway, you can spend United States currency in Mexico, and it's actually worth more than if you were to, anyway. But so it was interesting going there to Australia and having to consider like the exchange rate, and to think about all these things, and to have to be considering those sort of things, and just I had never done so previously. So it was interesting in that sense. Getting to see two different main cities really up close. Getting to see Sydney, for the first few days. Actually, and getting to see a bit out in the countryside, kind of like where Mark lives. I mean, it's still populated, but it's not like all packed in like all the buildings like where we were in Melbourne and in Sydney, in the main, the main city, in the main part of the main city, right? So it was interesting, you know, and getting to experience that. It was, you know, just a lot of interesting things about it. But the supporters are awesome there. When we were in Melbourne, we announced we were going to be in Federation Square, and one supporter actually did show up at Federation Square to meet up with us and ended up walking with us from Federation Square down the river. I think it was probably about, I don't know, maybe a mile and a half. Mile to a mile and a half, I think, probably, that we walked. We just walked along the river, and there was all kinds of stuff going on because they have this little grassy knoll along the river there in South Wharf. And you can see, like, there was a musical act that was playing there, a guy playing electric guitar, and he had a little drummer there. It was a two-man band, basically, so the guys singing, playing songs, and dude was kind of getting kind of good, you know, kind of funky on the guitar, you know, like, you know, doing some really, you know, interesting things on the guitar. So Stacy stopped for a second to check him out and watch him for a minute, and we just kind of moseyed our way down over to the Melbourne Convention Center, and it was interesting, you know. It was a lot of fun to experience all this, you know, sort of stuff, and the supporters. It was really just amazing, and the experience was, you know, just also just amazing. So, you know, I hope to go again. Hopefully not in the too distant future, to be perfectly honest. But I want to go back for like 2 weeks, or maybe even 3. You know, I just want to be able to go there, and I want to be able to, like, see a lot more. I want to maybe go out on safari or something like that, where I can actually see some of the really cool, you know, like, you know, animals of Australia in you know, out in, you know, out of the zoo, basically, or something like that, or go on maybe walkabout before I get too old, right? Anyway, so it would be interesting. So anyway, I loved it, though. It was very interesting. The folks were very warm, you know. You know, everybody that I talked to, and everybody was really friendly, and it was just a really cool, you know, experience to go and see Australia and experience it, and like I said, experiencing the other things of just becoming a world traveler, of just beginning to experience, you know, other countries, and thinking about the things, like, you know, like I was saying before, exchange rates, and the fact that Australia's sales in Dr. Pepper probably doubled for the week while I was there, because of the 3 or 4 stores that I cleaned out when I found them. Anyway, no. So anyways, that's about it, folks, for this one. We'll see you guys later. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe.